right? I mean, if you're writing this, as a matter of fact, if you read chapters 11 and 12, as a matter of fact, as we did chapter 9, you're saying, is that all true? Would you say that most people that you know that are not in church would read Daniel and say, are you sure that's true? Are you sure God said this and God said that? Are you sure all this is true? So Daniel emphasizes in this text, because other people are going to read it, you can be sure that what I'm saying, this message is true. He's setting all of this up before he even says it. In other words, he's preparing the readers before he even tells them what the vision is. He doesn't tell them the vision first. He tells them in preparation, I can assure you that this vision that you're going to see in chapters 11 and 12 is true. Also, he wanted to make sure it was accurately true, and that this was prophecy that was going to take 2,000 years to fulfill, and he wanted to make sure that it was they understood how remarkably true what he's about to say is correct. I bring nothing before you but what is firm and stable, and whose accurate performance the faithful ought confidently to expect. In other words, how it is going to turn out, you can be confident that it's going to be correct, and there is no room for doubting his assertion. He had been divinely instructed, which some of it would be fulfilled in their own time. By the appointed time was long. The appointed could be conflict. The word could mean long. It could mean great. So this was a message of great conflict. The message, the vision he's going to have is with great conflict, figuratively. Here is the focus is on the great power to conquer or rule, and it stresses the fact that God is ultimately the ruler of the universe, that he is in control of history, and all the wars that have been going on with the Persians and the Greeks and the Romans. He said, you can make sure in the end, I will be the conqueror of the universe. I will bring everything to its climax. I am in control. You can be sure of that. Well, what was a great conflict that Daniel was talking about? Here are two opposing views. The conflict could be between the people of Daniel, which is a never-ending conflict that afflicts Israel. Israel has never been out of trouble. From the very beginning of Israel, they have maintained conflict with somebody. As we saw last week, somebody's always fighting Israel. Yeah. And they are still fighting Israel. To this very day. If they had a chance, they would blow Israel right off the map. And that happened during in Christ's day. It happened during Daniel's day. Or the second idea here is that there is a great conflict that's been allured to with wars in heavenlies. Now, some believe that the demons and the good angels are fighting each other in heaven. I always remark, when you see lightning in the sky, it's swords of the demons and the good demons. They're constantly fighting. They're wanting there are some demons are here on this earth. Dorothy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm teasing. You're a good. She's okay.
A good angel.
She's a good angel. Okay, sorry. Okay. So there are demons. There are demons here, and there are good angels here. The bad angels are locked up somewhere beneath, and they're going to be released during part of the tribulation period. And I think they will be part of the 200 million that'll come against Christ during that time. Well, that may be true, and it may be true that there was fighting going on during this time. That's conjecture. We really don't know. The King James translates here would give the meaning that the message was for a distant future, the time appointed. But that would be very unusual and is unlikely. Well, Daniel already learned the eschatology conflict that was in store for the people. He already learned that. We've learned that in chapter 9. Mm-hmm. And he understood the persecution at hand of the little horn, of the third kingdom. The third kingdom was who? Who was the third kingdom? Well, who was the first kingdom? The head.
Babylon.
Babylon. The second head was who?
Medes and Persia.
Okay. All right, who's the third? Quite, I know you know. Okay, who's the third? Who's the third kingdom?
Oh, come on.
Who's the third kingdom? Alexander the Great. Greece. And the fourth kingdom is?
Rome.
Next week we're going to start all over again.
Babylon, then the Medes and the Persians, then the Greeks, then the Romans.
Right.
Okay, we got it.
Where's your
Yeah,
notes? Hello?
In my notebook.
Also, we could say that this long appointed time would be this. Daniel is expressing their need of calmness of mind. It's going to be a long time before we see the fulfillment of what God is saying. So just cool it. Don't be anxious. It's not going to happen overnight. Until God gets ready to complete and perform what He's going to do, stay calm. Stay cool. You can relax. God's going to do it. In time, when He gets ready, God's going to do it. So relax. When's He going to do it? When's He going to do it? I don't think God's going to do it. He will. So Daniel was saying, as a matter of fact, this feeling should be extended to all prophecies. When God gives a prophecy, when Winston Hall was preaching on the New Jerusalem, I kind of wanted to hurry it up, didn't you? I kind of wanted the New Jerusalem to come down. I kind of wanted a room, on the 14th floor, which is probably 1,000 miles up. I kind of got a little anxious for that to happen. Daniel is saying, when God gives a prophecy, relax. It will take place. It's accurate. And after all, we know how not patient men are. And so Daniel puts this in, saying to them, be patient. God is going to carry it out by His own desire. And thus, we should curb our impulsiveness if we wish to make progress in the school of God. If we're going to do God's work and God's ministry, stay calm. Go easy. We must admit that this is what we need to do. Yes, this prophecy will be long in coming. So restrain yourself from rushing headlong with too much haste. Remain quiet till the full maturity of the period should arrive. That's what Daniel is saying. I'll ask him if that's correct when I get there. And he understood the message. Notice, he had an understanding of the vision. Now you understand, he already knows the vision. He is now backing up and giving us preparation for the vision. Daniel asserts, he confirms the prophecy which he is about to explain. And he will not utter anything that's perplexed or obscure. He knows about what he's going to say. And he says it's going to be clear. I wish I could be as clear as Daniel was. And he also induces all of the spiritual to hope for the exercise of the same understanding. I know it's very difficult, but I pray, Lord, I pray not so much what I'm going to say as much as, Lord, would you translate in their minds what I'm trying to say? Lord, I know what I want to say. They can't figure it out. So if you would help them grasp at least a little bit of what I'm saying. And so Daniel said, I get it. I know what the prophecy is. Yeah. I want them who hears it to understand it. He is saying, I know what God wishes. He has explained it to me by His angel. And I am going to show you the order in which the angel has taught. everybody now read thoroughly and carefully what I'm about to say. And give attention, and may God grant you the same gift of understanding and lead you to that certain knowledge. In other words, he says, I want you to get the same understanding that I did. So when you leave this place, when you finish reading this prophecy, I want you to be able to understand what was Daniel trying to say, what was God trying to say in this vision. I mean, why go through all this? Why write down all of this and then come out saying, I don't get it? Now, I know, Danny, you don't do that, but Frankie does occasionally. When she leaves the service, she says, I don't get it. Where was I? Now, Dorothy gets it all the time. But I mean, on occasions, you leave a service and you say, I don't get it. But I know Charity's getting it. You know why I know that? Because I don't know how many times in the last couple of weeks she says, do you know what I did this week? And on the way over here, I don't want her to go through this. It might be good if she did. But on the way over, no, don't tell it. On the way over, she was telling me that she was talking to a young man, and she went through she went through a lot of the sermon that I preached Sunday. And in the end, he said, what time does he teach? What time does he teach?
Where does he teach this? Where can I hear him? Does Charles teach that? Where?
In other words, here's the key. If you leave this place and you talk to somebody like Dorothy does, well, it's going to take you 3 weeks to get to know him. Well, now, why would that person want to come? If he's smart, he'll wait till the 3rd week and then come, right? I'm saying, but if you... you tell him the truth. In other words, you're saying, we like him, but he's a little squirrely. So, you may not like him.
Takes you a while.
So why would a person want to come if you know he's going to be squirrely the first 3 weeks you're there, right? I mean, hello? So Daniel is saying, I want you to have a good understanding of what I'm about to say. So, now comment, notice how long, so we are in verse what? Are we still in verse 1?
Mm-hmm.
Good grief. So, now in verse 2. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning how long?
3 full weeks.
3 full weeks. Now, when's the last time you mourned for 3 full weeks? Can anybody tell me except Bill? Why did he say 3 full weeks?
Because he was praying for the people.
Why did he say, yeah, it's true. He was praying for the people that didn't go back to Jerusalem. But why he specifically said 3 full weeks? I mean, he specifically said 3 full weeks. So, now, a week is what?
7 days.
Not in Daniel 9.
7 years.
It's 7 years.
Oh, 7 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, now wait a minute.
A week means 7 years.
So it could mean 7 years. So are we to say? Huh?
21 years.
So are we to say then that Daniel said 3 full weeks in this verse in chapter 10? In chapter 9, he said 70 weeks. How long is 70 weeks?
490 years.
So did he fast 7 times 3?
No, I don't think he fasted.
So then we have to understand the word weeks in this verse means 7 days.
Right.
But some people that,
different.
but he said weeks in the last chapter. Now, is that not confusing? You understand what I'm saying is? That's the reason I had to explain that, just in case you didn't.
I didn't say
Well, I don't know. I said, so why was Daniel mourning for 3 weeks? Well, I don't know. Maybe Bill Bauer knows.
Verse 13 touch.
Okay. Maybe Isaiah 66:10 tells us. Maybe Isaiah 66:10. Dorothy, Isaiah 66:10. 66:10. Isaiah 66:10.
I think he wants you to read that.
Oh, 16.
She doesn't hear me, so I have to.
I don't hear anymore.
Aren't you blessed?
If you don't hear anymore, she ignored you. Will.